Let's go. We're breaking down Quinn Ewers. Is he ready for the SEC? There are some that feel he is the best quarterback already in the Southeastern Conference. So comment down below. You see in the background here, simply put, there was too much penetration on this RPO. It gets batted up in the air, almost an interception. In fact, probably should have been. But that's not on Ewers. That's on the poor pass protection. All right, so we move ahead to the 2nd and 10, and it's once again one of these RPO plays where Quinn's job is to read this safety, right? If he jumps in here, you pick it up and you throw it. But this safety did a good job staying in the passing lane and just batting this down. This would have been an absolutely nice gain right here for a first down. All right, we get to 3rd down and 10, and you get a bit of an exotic front. There was only a few people in 3-point stances, and they're just running twists. They all back out, and guess what? The protection here is immaculate. You're not going to get much better than this. So he has a pocket he could step up in, and this throw is just not good, right? There is a defender right here who has, Whittington leverage. If you're going to throw this football, it needs to be on him right here on this back shoulder. It looks like he could have waited for this dig to open up right here, and that's a nice big gain to A.D. Mitchell. And you see he's like, God, I was open, and that's just a really dangerous poor throw right there. All right, so we move ahead here, and we get to a very creative screen call from Sark, right? Play action to the right, look to the left, and then throw back here. This is a really bizarre play, and you got to get this off or else you're getting absolutely destroyed. I'm a little shocked that Ford didn't get there quicker to blow that up, but if he's there, I mean, that's the difference between a potential strip sack and a huge gain. So that was a good job under heavy pressure for Quinn to get that off. And look, Steve Sarkisian, he's going to scheme up some good screens, and this ends up being an absolutely massive, massive gain. All right, so this is going to be very interesting with Ewers. All right, we move ahead here. Play action fake. How much running is he going to do in the SEC? This time, the pass protection is once again immaculate, and they actually do a decent job of staying in their lanes. But if they're going to drop so far back into these zone coverages, it's going to open up so many pockets of space for you to run through. Nothing is open. Nothing was open at all. So you need to tuck and run and take these free yards. Quinn Ewers does just that. This was one of his best, if not his very best, rushing performance at Texas, and that's a really good job right there. All right, so this play works every single time, okay? Arkansas ran this versus Kansas in the bowl game. The 49ers run this play, fake screen to the left, fake screen to the right, and then you hit the tight end leaking, okay? My only issue with this play call is I would prefer to do this with a blocking tight end instead of Sanders, because if you have a tight end like Sanders and he's marked in this tight, they're going to be ready for any type of leak plays. That's why I prefer to do this with a non-playmaking tight end, because the design of this play has to work for it to work, right? And one way to sell this fake is with personnel, and you see that they have Sanders doubled. So Quinn can't throw it, and none of the other receivers are really running their routes because this is a one-man concept, basically. So Ewers does a really good job improvising right here and getting something out of nothing right here. That is some good quarterbacking to fall forward and just take the yards that are given to you. All right, so Texas eventually scored a touchdown, and now we're going to break down, to me, the most interesting rep of the night, and it's going to we're going to discuss a few things here about Quinn. So in the background, you're going to see Texas line up in a 5-wide empty formation. So basically, it's just a 5 offensive lineman blocking. And if you're Texas, you have to like where you are with this, right? There's no blitzers. There's no nothing. So Quinn is trusting his offensive line to get the job done here. And you see with Trice, their best pass rusher, this right tackle has a wider split to to deal with the speed of Trice. Now, the issue when you have a split this wide is it does open yourself up for interior pass rush moves. For me as a pass rusher, when I was at end, I loved seeing players in a wide stance because I know that they're getting wider to deal with my speed coming off the edge, and I didn't have elite speed, but they would assume that because I was an undersized guy. And that means that he is really going to sit heavy to the outside. So guess what? If I know you're sitting heavy to the outside, this just opens this gate right here to pass rush to the inside. And once you see how perfect of a swim move this is, right over the top, 70's leaning, and that, at that point, it's better to just hold and bring him down because that's just going to be a sack almost every single time. Now, go look at the Joe Burrow game in this building, 2019 versus Clemson. Clemson got a lot of immediate rush when LSU did their patented five-wide formations, and Joe was still able to get out of situations like this one. With Quinn, he showed some improvisational ability. Can he get out of this? Maybe. Not really, though. I mean, that's a tough ass. That's their best defensive player right there, bringing him down. So there you go. Now, let's take a look at the concepts. If this play was protected even decently, this is a huge gain to one of two players. Okay, he could have had A.D. Mitchell on the quick out right here because the corner shifted back into quarters, and obviously A.D. has leverage on this defender. So bang, if he had time, he could hit this. But where this ball would have gone, okay, is to Sanders, their explosive tight end, a 5-star. It would have been Sanders over the top. So look at where Sanders was. He is even with this safety, with this back turn. If I can get just a little bit more time, we're throwing this football into this direction and getting a huge gain. All right, so now we move ahead to this 3rd and 17. And they called a holding. Texas had a nice gain, and it would have been 4th and 1. And now you're getting some good protection here, okay? This is really good, but because it's 3rd and 17, it takes a while for all these routes to get back here. And you can see Washington is just so sunk far back here that, everything's going to be covered. So guess what? They need Quinn to make a play. Now, on 3rd and a miles, I hate when everything is so far deep, right? I like having some smaller, shorter option, but that's not what happens here. This is where Quinn Ewers just does some amazing stuff. Rolls out to the right side, and this is a very difficult rollout. 52 was asking for a hold. He did get it. So, does Quinn actually break that contain if 52 is not held? No. But look at this throw off his right foot. Look at that. Bang. Over the outstretched arm of this defender. And he actually led for the RB out of the backfield for a huge gain. All right, once again, Sark screen game. It works. Kelvin Banks, 78, just missed this block. And this is on him. Okay? When you're running a screen, you are the most important player on this play. Not Sanders, not Ewers. You've got to make the difficult second-level block because there's no receiver out here to get this second-level block. Okay? So the tight end's doing his job. Banks right here just stuck with the end way too long. You got to disengage and then go to your assignment. Okay? He should have got out of that a little bit sooner because this is such a quick screen. And if he does, and you get a decent block right here on 5, look at all of this room for Sanders, okay? And we know he's good after the catch as well. And, man, that is just such a huge missed block right there. All right, so we move ahead here. 2nd and 6. Guess what? You go back to the RPO stuff. They're not going to block it every single time. Look at this. I mean, this is really good, sound footwork. Fake right there. Get that base. You let me know, quarterback coaches, if you think that base is a little too wide. I think it's fine. And look at that throw. Leads him perfectly. And they almost score on this, right? If you lead a big target going downfield, it's so tough to bring him down. And eventually Texas gets a big man touchdown on a fullback carry. And Texas tied this bad boy up. And you know we got to show it to you, baby. I love this Texas defensive tackle duo this year, and I'm glad Murphy was able to eat. Trust me, Texas's run blocking in this game was fine, right? It was just the pass protection was just atrocious. I thought one thing Washington did a really good job of in this game was giving Texas a lot of different looks. I would immediately check into a run if I was given this front, but that's not what happened here. We're trying to take a shot, get a play-action fake, and, can he have worked to this dig right here? It looks like this is open. I'm not sure if it is. It's tough to really see. He decides to take the downfield shot to his best receiver, Worthy. And once again, I would say in this game that the Washington DBs just outplayed the Texas receivers. That's just really good coverage. All right, so now we get to this play, and we're going to discuss this from the end zone angle because I feel like that's the best way to break down what actually happened here. And I think if we have time, we'll get to a rep later in this game that kind of reminded me of this. So, I get a lot of questions when you have stuff like this where the receiver's not even looking and the ball's not even close. What the heck happened? Well, it's just pressure, right? You've got to be able to protect these double A gap looks, okay? So this looks like a signal for to pick up whichever player is coming through this A gap. So what happens here is it looks like it's a double A gap look, but he backs out and someone twisting around actually comes through the A gap. All right, it's actually this end coming all the way around here. Okay, it is very confusing. So you see 4 right here. He's locked in on this backer, but he doesn't see this guy twisting around. So what happens here, the way that it's supposed to get picked up, it's really hard, is this guard in theory is supposed to pick up this player and this center picks up the twister, or this center stays with him and the running back picks up the A-gap scraps. It just comes down to how it's communicated. It's a really well-designed pressure. So the center peels off this A-gap pressure and then picks up the twister, and that gives you unblocked pressure right here, and Quinn just has to let it go, okay? This is actually a good piece of quarterbacking because you see no one's backs are even turned, right? A.D. Mitchell was ready, but that's not going to get you the first down. Throw it up. It's man-to-man right here. Give your guy a chance while he's getting hit, and all things considered, that's not a bad throw, if you ask me. But the protection there, it's exotic, it's tough, but at this level, you got to be able to pick it up. All right, 2-minute drill. Texas had 2 great 2-minute drills in this game. And to get things going on the 2nd and 10, it was another batted pass at the line of scrimmage. Guess what? If your talented running back is man-to-man versus a backer, just hit him on that upfield shoulder going towards the sideline, get upfield, and get out of bounds and pick up a first down. It's really good stuff. All right, so as many of you know, Texas came back to this play a little bit later. The running back wheel versus a safety, and this ball is basically perfect. Now, in a perfect world, you would be leading him a little bit more vertically so he can catch this in stride vertically to score, okay? But the reason why quarterbacks want to layer this more at a 45-degree angle instead of a straight line is that it protects any potential safety coming over the top and just lighting you up. That still needs to be caught. It's a bad drop, but I can understand 23 dropping it because it gets a little Willie Mays-ish with that ball location. 2nd and 5, here we go. Another good throw by Ewers, okay? You can argue the dig over the middle was also open, but 2-minute drill, if we can lead someone to the sideline, you always take that, right? Big target, bang, right there. And what I'm talking about here is this was potentially also open. It's a little bit hard to see from here, but Man, that's just some really good quarterbacking right there. All right, we get to the 2nd and 7. It's good quarterbacking. It looks like it's just 3 verticals and a comeback from the tight end. Understanding you have 2 timeouts, there's still 54 seconds left on the clock. A field goal here is also valuable. Just take these yards, and guess what? Your tight end could fall forward here potentially for a first down, and he does actually fall forward for a first down. And because of that, Texas was able to call a timeout, and guess what? They're going to be playing off of you. Just take these yards towards the sideline. If they're going to give it to you that easy, just take it. Okay, and Ewers actually got to it a little bit late. He wanted to see if one of these verticals was open, and he barely, and I mean barely, gets this off. That is really good stuff, though, to still eventually get it there and then get out of bounds. Okay, good stuff. All right, 3rd and 1. Love the idea from Sark to take a shot on 3rd and short because you can just go for it on 4th or kick the field goal. And Ewers does a smart thing right here, all right? Just step up into this pocket. They're bringing a heavy blitz, man coverage across the way. So all you have to do is get vertical and take these yards, and he does just that. Okay, that's really good quarterbacking right there by Quinn, and you'll see he takes a huge shot here at the end. We can get into a debate about it being an illegal hit, but they gave it to him. And the flag was thrown. Alrighty, before we get to this alarming second half, how about some trivia for you? Which Longhorn icon currently scouts with Underdog Fantasy? That answer's coming up. But first, if you want to support these independent film studies, go sign up with Underdog Fantasy right now. There's drafts where you can win up to $20K just off a $3 buy-in. But you have to use my promo code Carter for a deposit match bonus. It's all with Underdog Fantasy. And the answer is Colt McCoy. How about that? So I guess Colt and I are kind of sort of teammates now. That's pretty freaking cool. So big thanks to Underdog Fantasy, and check out some of Colt's work. It's actually really freaking good, and he's 10 times better at doing film breakdowns than me. That makes a lot of sense. So what I didn't show you was coming out of the 3rd quarter, Texas fumbled, gave the football right back to Washington. They make it a 2-score game, and now everything is on Quinn Ewers' shoulders to go out and win this game. So Texas had a few good runs. So you saw the run there. They had a run before that as well. I like a quarterback who's not afraid to still pull an RPO even if the run game is hot, right? If you like the decision, roll with it, even if the run game is going good. And that's some good decision-making right there. You get the football at the 80 Mitchell, and you get a nice gain on 2nd. All right, so now this is the most negatively graded play from the Texas offensive line. And honestly, this is partially on Ewers. I'm not in this meeting room. We're going to give you the end zone angle to break this down even further, but this is just poor altogether from Sark and this entire Texas coaching staff. Because I honestly don't know specifically whose job this is to make this call right here. All right, they have a 6-man front right here. Now, of course, this guy could blitz off the edge, but the likelihood of that is small. You have 6 guys to protect these 6, okay? The one place we don't want unblocked pressure is through here, okay? No matter what, you would prefer it through here or through the edge, but never through here, especially with 2 faster backers right here. But guess what happens? There's a miscommunication. Okay, 65 and 76 double this player, and you leave their best defensive rusher unblocked coming right through here. Okay, now what's interesting is I don't know why Trice got a piece right here instead of just coming right through here. I don't really know what happened there, but still, this is crazy stuff. All right, now Quinn did what you are taught in this situation. If there is a free runner, the likelihood it is 0 coverage or cover 1 on the back end, and it's man coverage across the way. Now, my only issue with this with Quinn is I would prefer you to work your hot, which right here is your shallow drag. You get this football right here, this is a first down. Now, he doesn't want to throw this because it's unblocked A-gap pressure. If you just have decent protection, he's hitting Xavier Worthy, and he's probably making this guy miss, and then it's one-on-one potentially for an even bigger gain. And then you also had this right here, okay? But because it was unblocked A-gap pressure, if it came from anywhere else, you're probably getting there. He decided to throw this up. And obviously, that's never getting completed. And honestly, I mean, could Quinn potentially pump fake, reset your feet right here, and then hit this? I don't know. I doubt that. But I want you just to see the other angle and his head snapping on the turf. A-gap pressure is the most dangerous pressure in the game. And Quinn even pointed to the back of his head on the sideline, and he said he was okay. So, man, it's just tough. All right, so now you're in a lot of trouble. You're down by 13. Your defense isn't stopping anyone. You've got to put up points on the board, but you also don't really just want to force it and really end the game. And Quinn did a really good job of, at the end of this game, just letting things come to him, right? Really good pocket. You wait for this route to get all the way over here, and you hit him, and you also protect him from this player. Really good throw to get this drive going. I love how calm he was in the pocket. And once again, this is coming off the head injury, all right? Or him getting knocked on his head really hard. He stays really calm in this pocket. A lot of pressure coming off this edge. Texas is running some variation of mesh. He steps up, finds the shallow drag, okay? If they're going to be very aggressive, or when they're not aggressive, sit back in the deep zones, shallow drags is where it's at, baby, and you get a very dangerous playmaker of the football. I don't know how Sanders kept his feet. That is some ridiculous athleticism to gain some extra yards. All right, so this is a play that LSU ran very first play of the Florida State game, okay? Deep vertical. The design of this play is to hit the leaking tight end to go upfield. Okay, now this time, the tight end who leaks, Sark decided to mix it up. Remember, you didn't have the receiving tight end leak out. They still pick it up. Okay, the good thing about this play, though, is you do get a secondary leak from the running back who had the initial play action fake. So if they see the tight end, they pick it up. You then hit the running back. It's just such a good misdirection play. I love it. I don't know why every team doesn't run this play, or at least a variation of it. And you juke them, and that's an absolutely ridiculous juke right there by Blue. And then this is where things get really haywire. He gets spooked by his own guy. The initial tight end who leaked, ball gets loose, and guess what? It's Washington football, okay? This was a good job by Xavier Worthy hustling in here to try and get this football. So you get a stop, you get the football back. Guess what? They're going to sit back. They don't want anything explosive. So if it is clear quarters coverage, the comebacks are always going to be there. Good job by Quinn, seeing it quickly. I don't know if that's an option or a comeback all the way. Either way, that's a good job getting the football to Mitchell and just getting this drive going. Get it to your playmakers. Yeah, you're just going to get sacked here. Almost every time you're going to get sacked. You know, we can get into a debate about the internal clock, but your play action faking, everybody is just running deep routes. You know, it looks like this is a vertical here. This looks like it's a vertical here. Sanders, they did a really good job doubling him over the middle. And what I would have liked to have seen is just them continuing to hit shallow drags, shallow stuff, because they gave you this a good portion of the day. So we do get the end zone copy. This is a really difficult block for a right guard to block Trice, who's hot, right? He's been dominating this game. And, I mean, was this dig open to Worthy? You know, he got off of it and checked the vertical, and it's not there, okay? Do you still throw this up? No. Sanders is guarded pretty well. Is this open once he looked back to the left? I mean, maybe you got this underneath defender. Yeah, they got to just tuck and run or just throw it away and be a little bit quicker right there. We just don't want sacks. All right. This is really good football IQ, and a lot of people can take this from Quinn Ewers' game. 2nd and 13, you don't have to gain all the yards, okay? They're running, once again, some variation of mesh. Hit your running back right here in the flat, and that was a good adjust right there by 4. And he's able to make this a manageable 3rd down. Really, really, really good stuff. So I'm going to give you my first old man yelling at clouds, and I'm not even that old. I just celebrated a birthday, though. You're going to get an absolute perfect throw right here. And this is amazing considering Trice beats his man again. This time it's Kelvin Banks, the 5-star. Okay? The protection isn't the worst, though. At least you got a piece. You're leaning a little bit. And look, this guy's in your lap. This is not the cleanest pocket. And look at where this ball is dropped. I mean, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Bang! Okay? Hit one of the fastest players in college football with the football. Okay? Now, what is my old man yelling at clouds moment here? There's a better replay of this. I'm not going to show it because, I don't want anyone to think I'm just griping. I don't understand the fashion. I just don't. The baggy undershirt of the wide receiver never makes sense to me. Okay? So he's catching this in stride, and this corner is off balance. Okay? First thing, I do have to shout out the play call. You get press man to get your best player, and you're getting a switch release. Okay, so the job right here of this receiver is to cut him off and let Worthy cut around him. That couldn't be done that much better. I think that was a running back who helped him out there. Okay, now, I want you to see the corner, all right? He is falling down right here, all right? And the only thing he could grab is the baggy undershirt. I don't understand the baggy undershirt at all, okay? And that is the only reason he was brought down. Notice he wasn't able to grab anything else, okay? If he was wearing a more rippable shirt, you'll see a lot of times players, their jersey just rip apart right here. He's gone. But that's a strong undershirt, and you also see this. I don't get Stephon Diggs does this. The mouthpiece is out. I also don't get that. But that is a touchdown if he, or at least I think that's a touchdown if he's just wearing a regular shirt, okay, or something tighter fit. You also don't wear knee pads anymore. Look at that, okay, but everybody's got the loose mouthpiece, and you also see right here, he's able to grab him by the mouthpiece, okay? That also slowed him down. All right? That is just crazy to me. The no knee pads, I get that. But, man, you tell me if I'm wrong on this. This isn't the best angle. I understand there is a better one out there. I don't think he's getting tackled. All right? He wasn't really close to anything else. That could hurt your tailbone. Your head can snap back. We'll keep it moving, though. Still, that could be the difference between you and a national championship. Let's see. This looks like mesh again. And Quinn honestly saw this late. Okay, tight end, wide open right here. I think this is a converted offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken. All right, it's amazing how many times I'll do a film breakdown and my favorite throw be an incompletion. This is ridiculous stuff. Okay, so 2nd and 4, red zone compresses the field. So Worthy's speed is just not as valuable. I want you to see when he's throwing this football. Okay, the ball is being released right now. Look at the anticipation on this ball. It is just slightly behind him. Okay, should Worthy still catch this? Probably not. I mean, it is behind him quite a bit, but it needs to be to avoid this hook defender. Did he sell it? I mean, no. I mean, we were this close to one of the best throws you'll ever see from a Texas Longhorn. All right, we'll move ahead here to the 2nd and goal. And obviously, we'll be coming back to this play a little bit later. This is just a really good goal line fade. 80 had a little bit of a missed time on the jump, but he catches it at its highest point. Can't really do it any better than that. Okay? Throw it high and towards here, away from the DB. And you can see A.D. Mitchell just mistime his jump. He double clutches and still is able to make this catch. One of the all-time college football playoff greats makes another touchdown grab. Crazy stuff. All right. So Texas down by 9. Got to score twice. Got to move this football. And we start things off here. I mean, that's just such a nice, compact base. Ball away from the defender. Protect your receiver, and it's a first down. Again, you see Ewers showing off this running ability. Okay, 3-man rush. It's going to be hard for something vertical to be open versus this. Once again, I would have preferred more shallows in this game. But, you know, if they're going to keep falling back in the zones, you take these yards. One added bonus to you running is you could see they've already given up. They don't want to hit you. They don't want a flag. So get as many yards as you can and pick up the first. One of the best plays of the night by Ewers, okay? You know, they get rush right up the gut again, and this time it's not the worst kind of rush. You're able to get a piece and ride them up. And now Quinn bends back over here and eventually finds an open player throwing across his body. Look at this. And then puts such great touch on his pass. Quinn's got great touch on his throws. And he hits his big target, Sanders. It's good stuff. All right, so 2nd down, there was a miscommunication on a goal line fade to Mitchell. And then on his 3rd down play, man, I would have loved to have seen this ball not be batted down, because this would have been a bang-bang completion right here. Okay, does this get picked? Does this even get caught? I don't know. 11, I mean, that's tough. I really don't know what the point of this play was, but it does get batted down, and it ends up working out in Texas's favor. You kick the field goal, and because of the Washington injury and because you're able to preserve some timeouts, you get to this point. Okay, a chance to win this game. A game that Michael Penix was simply sensational in, and Ewers gets a shot. All right. Very weird start to this. Okay. You know, timing just gets thrown off right here. This is called JoJoing the tight end. Or actually, I thought he got a bigger piece of him. He really didn't. And you'll see that Mitchell and Sanders run into each other. Okay, and Ewers was expecting that to be a little bit cleaner, and it's incomplete. So yeah, there's probably 4-ish throws in this game where Quinn threw it with anticipation, but the heads of the receivers weren't turned quick enough, right? That ball is right there, okay? Something you wouldn't probably like to see at this point in the season. Now, is that on Quinn or the receivers? It's probably neither. Because the protection wasn't great, it probably made Quinn just move a half second sooner on a lot of his throws. Now, we get to this 3rd and 10. The most impressive part of this 3rd and 10 was the ball handling. It started off really poor right here. The snap is really good. Quinn has an awkward catch. So now he's just got to make something happen here. 3rd and 10. You get some good protection here, and you decide to throw a missile, okay? And this ball is just wonderful. Now, is this a push-off right here? I don't know. Did 13 right here, did he need to even jump for this at all? You know, if you're able to keep your feet, catch it, you're running into the end zone for the touchdown, okay? I understand jumping to get it at its highest point on a 50-50 ball. So, I mean, I guess it's fine. But if you do keep your feet, You're running in for the game-winning touchdown right there. It's a lot to ask. Still, good throw, good catch, and they let you get away with the push. Brandon Harris is telling him, hey, hurry up. Get back to the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, I mean, still, this ball was absolutely perfect, okay? Abso-freaking-lutely perfect. And that's where it needed to go, okay? That's something else about it. You know, you can't really force it to Sanders. He's falling down. Worthy's doubled. And this is their best corner. I mean, I guess it is a little bit of a push, but they're going to let it go. All right, so this is some ridiculous coaching by Sark. Only 4 seconds ran off the game clock, and instead of spiking it, you get to the next play. And this is a really good play design. All right, so Muhammad, who was just tested on this side, is now lined up over here. I don't know if that was designed or not, but that was a good job to hurry up to the line of scrimmage and just throw it up to A.D. Mitchell. Okay, with a playoff on the line, I just want to give Mitchell a chance to make the game-winning play. Okay, that's what he has done his entire career. And how was his ball placement? It was really good. Okay, I mean, it could always be better. I wish I could have a full angle of this route, but we don't on this copy. And man, I think this ball placement's okay. You would have never thunk at this portion that Mitchell would be inside of the receiver. Pause. You would think he would be on the outside shoulder of this corner, but this is Jabbar Muhammad. This is one of the best corners in college football, and he makes a really good play on it. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10. Okay, this is so nasty from Steve Sarkisian. Okay, it is so hard in this situation to get quick things to the sideline, right? Because they're pressing you and the safeties are all the way out here. They want you to attack the middle of the field, okay? One way, though, you can get the football down the sideline, though, is with your running back. So they go back to the wheel, and this is a play to the sideline, okay? And Quinn Ewers puts it right on the money, okay? Now, look at that. Bang, right there. Okay? Catch it. You get out of bounds as quickly as you possibly can. That's good stuff. All right, so this is one of the worst plays I have ever seen in a clutch moment. And the first thing that's very important to note is Washington burned a timeout. Okay, so Steve Sarkisian coming out of this timeout, you get a chance to call your best play. And you'll see that Washington gets very conservative. They're just in simple quarters. Okay? And it's a simple pass rush, okay? Now, Texas decides to get exotic here. They pull their guard around to block this end, and, well, it's a disaster, okay? This guard is so far into this backfield that, well, you know, this is just all out of sorts. There is no way in the world in this spot I am having my guard pull all the way around here because a sack ends it, okay? One missed assignment, or if there's a blitzer or something like that coming off this edge, man, I'm just never doing that coming out of a timeout. That is a lot of processing for a quarterback and a lineman and all that stuff to go through. And now Ewers does something crazy here. This is the last thing I want to do in this situation, okay? If you catch this and you're tackled in bounds, that might be the game, okay? Now, obviously, Ewers in the spot felt pretty good about throwing this football to the running back and he can get out of bounds, but the likelihood of this RB scoring here is low, okay? So you burn all this time right here and he gets out of bounds to save the game. Hated that play call. Hated it. But here we go. Now we get to the 2nd and 11. Okay? Washington rightfully is going to play their DBs off. Anything short and tackled short ends the game. All right? And now because you ran that play on first, you've got to get vertical. Okay? I would have liked to have seen him go right here get a little bit closer, and then your playbook is wide open. But this honestly is a really good job by Quinn just throwing this away. Okay, let's just fight. Let's just live to fight another day. Could this ball right here have been a little bit more catchable? Yeah, I mean, sure. Maybe give A.D. Mitchell a chance right here. Okay, throw it. I don't know. I think you do just throw that away, though. All right, we get to a 3rd and 11. Okay. I would have killed to see one of these slants get thrown. Okay. Do either one of these score? I don't know. This DB is so far off, and with outside-ish leverage with his hips open this way, I do think he makes this tackle. But maybe the guy who got you down here in the first place is scoring right here if you hit him right in the chest. Okay? I would have thunk that they were going to bring some kind of blitz right here, because if you tackle him inbounds, it's a game. And it's actually a zone blitz. 2 players peel back, and you get an unblocked edge guy right here. Now Quinn just needs to extend this game somehow, some way, and he does just that. He's able to throw it out, avoid the sack, and now we get a 4th down play for the whole shebang. All right, so we get to the 4th and 11 play, the play that's been discussed ad nauseum. I'm going to defend Quinn Ewers here, okay? Look, first thing is I do feel this pass rushing 3-tech, he could, if he wanted to, have stepped up into this and reset his feet or roll out here and do scramble drill, okay? That was there, all right? It was there. But you've got to give A.D. Mitchell a chance, all right? If you step up and take a sack, I mean, you're never living that down. You're just not, okay? I am perfectly fine with you just throwing this up. The thing I didn't quite understand was Washington going zone blitz here, okay? Man, I would have just brought the house, okay? There's really is no benefit of any player being right here in this spot. So I would have stepped up. Actually, from Washington's standpoint, I would have just brought everyone. But step up into this spot, because if you bring everyone, he can't step up at all. But it was there. So Quinn kind of bailed him out by not showing the best pocket mechanics here. But you know, it is just 1 second. You just want to throw it up there. The ball was very poorly thrown. Okay, if you throw it obviously on a line back this way, he's making a play. But sometimes you just got to give the other guy a lot of credit. Okay, look at this. All right, this is a stupendous defensive play. I mean, look at the air time. Look at the ability to get up there, bang, all ball. And honestly, I like the play call. I really, really, really do. Okay, I know that some would say, what's the point of the jet motion here? That's one less guy. They know you're never throwing the football right here. So, yeah, I could hear that out. But eventually, you got one-on-one with your best jump ball threat, playoff assassin, A.D. Mitchell. And it just wasn't a good throw. It wasn't a well-thrown ball. And, you know, if it's rocketed right here, yes. If it's more this way, sure. Okay? But that's just ridiculous airtime to swat that ball. Boom! Looking at you. Okay. Now, is Quinn Ewers the best quarterback in the SEC? I'm going to give you that answer in just a second. I'm also going to give you my final thoughts on this performance and one pretty crazy Ewers admission I'm about to make. Okay? But first, if you love independent film studies such as this one, please drop a super thanks. It goes a long way. Venmo, Cash App at Carter the Power. But if you're a Texas fan, please like this on message boards, all that good stuff. Now, the first thing, Quinn Ewers in this game was so freaking good. And my big admission is I have been a notorious Quinn Ewers hater. I'm just being straight up with you. I feel like that's very important. I like being honest with you guys. I have always been a Ewers skeptic. I've always thought, even this season, he was overvalued as a quarterback. I felt his performance in this game was undervalued. I mean, you factor in no Jonathan Brooks. Okay. You also factor in his receivers didn't have their absolute best game. You factor in the biggest thing, the protection was an absolute the end of time for not throwing up a Hail Mary where he had pressure. Yes, he could have reset his feet and pocket manipulated that a little bit better. But the bottom line was the guy got the freaking job done. He just ran into an all-time great quarterback performance in the playoff from Michael Penix. He really was that good. So Ewers in this game was definitely one of the 2 or 3 best Longhorns playing. Now, next thing, is he the best quarterback in the SEC? I'm still skeptical enough to say no. I'm not sure if he's top 3. So please come at me if you guys disagree with that. You take a look at all Texas is losing at skill positions. They are bringing in a lot of really big-time talent, but we'll see how Nyblack and Isaiah Bond and all those guys fit in for Worthy and all those guys as well. A.D. Mitchell gone. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have him in the top 3. I really, really, really don't. But Texas fans, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because one thing we did see, like you're seeing in the background right now, is Quinn showed some mobility in this game. I know he had a 40-yard game versus Kansas earlier this year. 54-yard. We're doing chicken quesadillas, baby. Let's freaking go.